Hi everyone, it's Paul Busby here from SimCoach. Just wanted to put together and explain a video of Daytona. If you want to see the hot lap video, it's already on the YouTube channel, SimCoach on YouTube. This lap was a 1:33.629. It was done on VRS conditions. So I just kind of wanted to go through the lap and just explain what I'm looking for and what techniques I'm using here. So here we go. So I'll just rewind that now. So for turn one, what I'm looking for here is the yellow stake in the wall. We use that as our kind of turning point, and what I'm basically aiming to do here is point the car towards that last cone over there. So we do like a fairly big initial turn, so we can straighten the car up, and then brake pretty heavily all the way out beyond the white line over here, and then we're trail braking as the speed comes off, and we want our apex here. So beyond the tire wall, we want to use all of the track, so you can just kind of clip the grass a little bit there. So just show that again from the outside. So see my inputs there. We will start turning in at the yellow marker, quite heavy on the brakes, and then as the speed's coming off, we're trail braking off, and then we turn again here, and even less brakes here, all the way braking to the apex, which is here. And at this point, I'm going to start squeezing the throttle back in. Again, we're going to use the kind of S technique that I've mentioned previously. So we're going to go up to sort of 50, 60%, and then really squeeze the last bit on once we start unwinding the steering. You don't really want to go all the way out to this yellow curb or cut it, because it's a 3D curb now and it's quite bumpy. You can kind of run the car off of it, but you don't want to kind of cut the grass like you used to be able to before. As you can see there, it kind of pops the car up. So if possible, avoid the yellow curb, but you can cut it a little bit. It's not the end of the world. And then going down into the first hairpin. So what I'm looking for here, I don't really use any markers on the left. What I kind of look for is, and it's different for each person, I guess, because of the FOV, but I basically look for the exit road there to line up with the corner of this screen. And then you want to obviously maximize the track, so you want to be out on the left hand side. We can use a lot of the brake here, and then as we turn in, we trail brake it off, and then once we get to the middle of the apex, I mean, you can use a little bit of this on the inside again, but again, it's quite bumpy, so it can unsettle the car. And then once we've got to kind of the middle of the apex, we can then really squeeze this throttle in. So one of the really important things at Daytona is preserving your rear tyres, because the car's always going to be running a super low downforce setup. You're not going to have the grip that you normally have in a P2. You've got rid of a lot of the aerodynamic benefit. So the real key thing here is not sliding the rear around and being really smooth with your throttle application. If you, don't get me wrong, you can get away with nailing the throttle coming out of these hairpins, but the more you slide that car, each lap that goes by, the tyres are going to get hotter and hotter until they just don't want to they'll want to over rotate the car all the time. So if you can keep the rear tyres under control, you'll be thankful for it towards the end of the race, because your tyres will be in a much better state than most other people. So I'll just show this again from the outside. Quite heavy on the brakes, trailing it off, and then really longing out that exit. You can use all the track out here as well. I don't really recommend using the yellow bit anymore. But yeah, it's all good. So turn 5 is obviously flat out. You can literally take many lines through here. You can even go around the outside out of a GT3 here without lifting. It shouldn't be an issue. And then going into turn 6. So what I'm looking for here is kind of halfway down this escape road. or maybe a third of the way down the escape road, depending on how confident you're feeling. And again, what I'm looking to do is kind of get out into it and then slightly turn the car so we're kind of pointing towards the corner. So it just means that we've got longer time of the steering wheel being straight and me being heavy on the brakes. And then as we're turning it in, we're really trailing it off. And this is a double apex, so you want to kind of hit the curb on the inside, like just kind of brush it, and then we really long squeeze this throttle in, and you want to keep it tight enough so that you almost touch the curb again on the second part of the apex. But the real key thing here is because it's so low grip, you've just got, if you watch the throttle input here, super long with how long it takes me to get back to full gas, and it's because I just do not want the rear of that car to kick out whatsoever. So yeah, you can use all the track on the outside. You can use the exit curb here, it's absolutely fine. And then going into turn 7, so I'm looking for basically the start of the exit road here. I also recommend not changing up to 4th. It will bounce off the limiter, but going up to 4th and then back down to 1st for the corner is really hard work on the car, and you literally do not gain anything out of going up to 4th. You're better off letting the car bounce off the limiter in 3rd. So keep it in 3rd. Start braking in a straight line once you get to the start of the escape road, and then we're going to start turning in kind of just after the end of the curb. And we're going to trail brake all the way to the curb, and then once we get on the curb, we're going to start squeezing the throttle in. Now this corner, again, you really have to be really strict about your throttle application here. So I go down to 1st, as you can see there. I'm down into 1st quite early here, which will rotate the car quite a lot, and then really squeeze this throttle in. It's so low grip here, and you're asking the car to turn quite a lot as well. You'll see there how long it takes me to actually get back up onto the throttle completely. So I'll just play that full speed. See, really patient, and all I'm trying to do is just stop the rear from sliding. And now I like to run it all the way out to the wall, because then you get the benefit of this downhill slope. It does make a difference. If you go from top to bottom, it will help the car accelerate as you go down the oval. So, and then we just want to stay as close to the white line, the yellow line as we can. Another key thing here is your use of the revs. So, as you can see here, I'm getting all the way up to basically the red line, which is 8690 here. So if I was to go forward one click, yeah, there you go. So you can see there, I change up at 86.85. The limit is 86.90. It does make a massive difference at Daytona that you really want to be right at the end of your rev range. You don't want to bounce it off the limiter because you will lose time, but you need to be as close to the limit as you possibly can be. I recommend, if you can't see your rev counter, just to move yourself down in the seat a little bit so you can see it. And it really does, like, a lot of the power is at the top end of this car, so you really want to be making sure that you're getting all the way to the end of the rev range. So now going into the bus stop, what I'm looking for here is the 1, and then what we do here, in fact, let me just play it full pace. Yeah, play it full pace first. So the key thing to notice here is my brake trace. So we do a heavy brake on the way in, and then we trail it off as we get to the curb. As we come off the curb and then turn it to the right, we add another little bit of brake. So that helps us to get the nose back in for the right-hander part of it. So if I just show this again in slow motion. So at the 1 cone, we're braking, we're turning in, and we're using all of this on the inside. So you can use all of this now. Basically, this is the limit. So you want to use all of the white curb, and you'll see I trail brake all the way in, and then as I come off the curb, I'll do another little bite on the brakes just to get it rotated in, and just make sure that you get off of this curb so you're you're not touching the grass. The off track here is really strict. So this was the limit here. So I'll just show this again. So trail braking in, little bite again on the brakes, get it turned, and it's just one continuous movement for the right-handers, and then out we go. And then the other thing just to bear in mind is on the back straight, you, assuming you're using the standard stack, which you should be, basically you're going to get to the rev limiter kind of here, or maybe a little bit further depending on how good your exit was at the bus stop. What you're aiming to do here to keep the speed at 110, 111 is go down to kind of, you're not going to see it here because I ended the lap, but if I go back to the start of the lap, you'll see it here. So you'll see here sort of 88, 89% will keep you at that speed without it bouncing off on and off the limiter. So that's the other technique there. So yeah, any questions, please let me know. My telemetry is in Garage 61, and obviously I'll be around on Tuesday night for the session. And yeah, during the week, if you have any questions or anything you want to know, just drop me a message in the Discord and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot, guys.